Hi everybody, happy Saturday. Hope you're having an amazing day. I'm here to talk about money. I love talking about money. I know a lot of people shy away from it, but here's the thing. I feel like we, as the light workers of the world, as the people who are like the visionaries, the people who want solutions, the people that want to make massive impact on the planet, I believe that we actually need to be making more money in order to make the changes that we want to see happen in the world. So I have healed my relationship with money and I am welcoming it in, and it feels so good. Hi, Harmony. And I think it's important, this whole idea of being in lack and scarcity and fear and just getting by is not the way. It's not the way for us. It's not the way for those of you that I know who are out here in the world wanting to make a huge change. So I am an avid believer in healing our relationship with money so that we can welcome more of it in. Hi, Leah. And so that we can be the change that we want to see in the world. Because here's the truth. We cannot contribute to the world in the ways that we want to when we're friggin' broke. We can't. We're in scarcity. We're in like just survival mode. We're just like getting by, and we need to be able to shine our light big and use our dollars in the ways that we want to in order to create change. So I wanted to talk about this idea of low ticket items versus high ticket items, and what the heck does that mean? So I know a lot of moms especially, and I always come on here and talk to moms and all the beautiful men in my life. I love you too, but my reality, my world is women and moms, so that's why I always talk to them. But this goes for you too. Like, we have to understand this difference between low ticket items and high ticket items, and how significantly different that is when it comes to being in a business of any kind or making money in any way. And it's massive. It's massive. And I really only just learned this. Like, I remember when I first moved to Santa Cruz. Hi, Mia. Hi, Jenny. That's so great. Hi, Elena. I remember when I first moved to Santa Cruz, somebody invited me into, their oil business. And I love oils, don't get me wrong. I love all the products. Like, there's so many amazing products out there that are set up through these incredible companies that I love. So it's not about that, I love oils. I use them every day. I just don't sell them because I know that I would have to sell a shit ton of them in order to make $10,000 a month, for example. Like, that is, if they're a low ticket item, just like, CBD oil. I love that too. Like, I love all kinds of stuff that I use on a daily basis that I buy from other people because I want to support other people, but also because they're great products, but they're low ticket items. And so I knew, for me, I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, I'm not going to go into a business where I'm going to spend all this time and attention building something where it's a major low ticket item where I'm making $20 or $30, if that, on something. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So I want to talk about low ticket versus high ticket and the power of this. And I wrote some of these numbers out, and I was like, is this going to work if I hold this up? Like, is it backwards for you guys? Oh, it is backwards. That's okay. I'm going to read it. So I live in Santa Cruz, okay, which officially is the most expensive city in the United States. Officially, my sister-in-law dropped something on Facebook the other day about it officially being the most expensive city in the United States. And so $10,000 a month minimum is really like what it requires, in my opinion, to live a life here in Santa Cruz. And if you're living in other places, obviously you don't need that much, but I'm going off of a $10,000 a month minimum. And so the idea here is, like, think about this. If you are selling a low ticket item in any kind of business, any kind of offering, and you are making $50 a month, this goes for like massage therapists, chiropractors, like anybody. If you have a low ticket item that is $50 a month, you have to sell to 200 people to make $10,000 a month. It's a lot of people, right? It's a lot of friggin' people. Now, if you have a higher ticket item and it's $100 a month, you have to sell to 100 people. Hi, Sarah. 100 people to make $10,000 a month. If you're making $500 off of every item, right? This is getting into the higher ticket items. 500 people, you have to sell to 20 people. 20 people to make $10,000 a month. Now, if you get into the really high ticket items that are like $1,000 and up, this is where it really gets cooking, because if you're making $1,000, how many people do you have to sell to, right? 10 people to make $10,000 a month. If you're making 2,000, it's 5 people, and if you're making $4,000, 2.5 people. 2.5 people to make 10 grand a month. So this is the power of keying into something that is a high ticket item versus a low ticket item. And I see so many people spinning their wheels and working so hard and just putting in so much effort into their businesses, but they're in low ticket item businesses. And so I was just inspired. I thought, I'm just gonna jump on here and like lay this out. Like, that's really significant, right? If you're making $2 grand, 5 people. If you're making $50, 200 people. And if you're making less than $50, you need to sell to more than 200 people every single month to make a significant income, to like have a more freedom in your life. And it's important. It's really, really important, because I feel like, especially as women, you know, we get very attached to our communities or to our products, and we think they're so great, and they are so great. It's not that they aren't great, but it's like we have to get really honest and put on our business hats and go, okay, well, is this really going to give me what I want? Is this really, really, really going to give me the income and the lifestyle that I want? And if you're not in it for money, because some people, you know, join these communities because they want a community and they want, they love the products, but they're not really that inspired to be making a bunch of money from it. And that's okay if that's really what you want. But if you are in something because you want to change your life, because you want to travel the world, because you want to have more freedom, because you want to like really significantly make an impact, right? And be able to have more freedom in your life. Hi, Becky. Then you've got to be aligned with something that has a high ticket item. You have to. I mean, you don't have to, but you're going to be doing a whole bunch more work for somebody. It's like, here's the thing, right? This is what it comes down to for me, is like, okay, I'm going to do the same amount of work regardless. You do the same amount of work, whether you're in a $50 low ticket item or a $2,000 to $4,000 high ticket item. It's the same amount of work. So if you could put the same amount of work in, but make, you know what, 4 times the money, 5 times the money, like, doesn't that make more sense? It did to me. It got me super, super excited. And I remember looking at this years ago, when I, like years and years ago, right when I first moved to Santa Cruz, and a dear friend of mine was inviting me into something, and I was like, what do you make? Like 10, 20 bucks every time? Like, no. No, because I want to do big things, you know. I want to do big things. I don't want to spin my wheels for tiny commissions. I don't want that. I want massive, massive, massive impact, massive abundance. I am ready for that. And so I just wanted to come on here and talk about this difference between low ticket and high ticket. And it's really about aligning with something that gives you a high ticket item so that you can change your life that much faster. So, yeah. I figured it out for me, and it's really, really fun and exciting. And I feel like it takes a lot of courage to have a look, like to really have a look at what you're doing and go, okay, is this really going to give me what I want? Is this really going to give me what I want? Like, even when I was in my coaching practice, which I still do, right? I'm a conscious parenting coach. I have been for the last 8 years. Even that, I was like, wow, I'm still trading my time for money. I'm still getting paid like $150 an hour, and people will go, oh, well, that's great. Well, I don't know, compared to what, right? That's the thing, compared to what? And when you surround yourself with people who are working in these upper levels, who have a bigger level of abundance in their life, it expands your mind. And now I'm like, gosh, like I couldn't imagine going back to the low ticket items, because it would be so much more work and it wouldn't be giving me what I'm really wanting. What was your question, Mia? Oh, it popped up. I think you said something about I can't see it. I think you said something about how do you market to people like that. Yeah, that's the beautiful thing, is we have this online platform. And so we're learning to have massive, like, think about the internet for a minute here, okay? The internet, somebody told me, my sister actually, who might watch this, she was like, well, what about when it gets saturated? I'm like, how many people are here on the planet? 3.6 billion people? Like, what a great problem would that be to have if we got saturated? Like, the internet goes out into the ethers all over the world, you know? I have this international team that's growing, and it's like when you really, really think about how the internet works and how we can learn how to make Facebook ads, or we can learn how to build this brand online, and we can learn how to market ourselves in a whole different way. Like, the internet is not going anywhere. It is the future. There is nowhere else that is ever going to be bigger than the internet for business. So everybody needs to learn how to, everybody will benefit rather from bringing their business online. Even if you want to still have your mom and pop shop, like, you've got to figure out, if you want to keep up with the competition, to bring it online. In 2019 is the first year that more dollars are being spent in online marketing. That's huge, right? Think about this for a minute. So we've just got massive, massive, massive potential here with the internet. And I'm involved in this online platform that is teaching me all this. I didn't know squat about this before. Like 6 months ago, I really didn't know. I knew the internet was big. I saw people on their laptops. I saw like people living this internet lifestyle, but I didn't really understand it. But this platform that I'm involved in is just teaching me step by step by step. You can even take your low ticket items and learn how to market it in a whole different way to like catapult, so that you could, even if you do have a low ticket item and you've got a $50, where you're making your commissions is $50 or less, and you have to sell to 200 people to make 10 grand a month, then learn how to market that. Like, learn how to get that out in this massive different way, all through attraction marketing, all through retargeting, all through like all these things that I didn't know anything about 6 months ago. It's super empowering, but it's like, you know, the world is changing and we got to keep up with it. So, you know, the parties and inviting people to events and, you know, putting your products up on Facebook and stuff like that, like, there's a better way to do this. So Mia, that's to answer your question, is you get to learn that. Because people are looking, there are people with so much abundance in the world who are looking for the high ticket items, and to them it's not a big deal. You know, it might feel that way to us. It certainly felt like that to me 6 months ago, where I was like, oh, that's a lot of money. But every time you raise your abundance, right, and you raise your consciousness, and you raise, you know, when you're surrounded by people who are in more abundance, it's like $5,000 doesn't sound like so much anymore, but it did before, you know, like, I've been there, believe me. We have been significantly tight in terms of our finances in the past, so I have been there. But I want you to know that anybody can learn it. This is the thing, anybody can learn it. And it's so fun and it's so empowering. And anyway, I didn't come on here to tell you about my online platform. I came on here just to talk to you about the difference between having a low ticket item and a high ticket item. And, you know, this idea of sales, it's like, first of all, I don't have to sell anything. I don't sell anything. I do not have to talk to anybody about anything to buy, which I love. There's a whole sales team in place for me and for, you know, the women that I'm working with. So I don't have to do any of that. But this idea of sales is just so silly. You know, we just have these old stories about what we think sales are. Like, sales are really about service. They're really about offering something. They're really about like providing solutions for people that are looking for something. So if somebody's already looking for something, then why not you get paid for it and have it be a high ticket item, so that your life is so much easier, and then you are bringing in more abundance into your life, and then you're able to have more impact in the world, because that's what it is about, is getting out of struggle and into massive abundance. And I don't just mean like monetarily, I mean everything, like deeper connection with your family, with your partner, deeper connection with yourself, coming back to yourself. Like, all these women and mothers that I know who are just not, you know, living the lives that we really want to, because we're struggling, because you know, we're struggling for lots of different ways. And if you want to talk about that, you can look at all my other videos. But I want to keep this short. So, oh, you're welcome, Jenny. Thanks for tuning in. Give me some hearts and thumbs up if you're thinking about this in a different way, like low ticket versus high ticket. It's an important thing to consider. So I just wanted to come on here and give a little bit of value about that, so you can think about that and go, okay, what is it that I'm wanting? What is it that really makes sense? Do I want to keep doing what I'm doing and getting a low ticket sale, like a low ticket commission every single time, or does it make sense for me to align with something where I'm making $1,000 to $4,000 every time? Like, to me, it was kind of a no-brainer, but I had to learn, you know, I had to reprogram my brain into what's possible, right? And this is what it comes back to, Mia, is like, what are our fears? What are our limitations? Where is our scarcity? Like, what are our limitations that we need to open up, so that we can really step into this fullest version of ourselves, so we can step into more abundance, so that we can, you know, just attract what we are worthy of, because you're all worthy of it. Oh my gosh. Thanks, Harmony. Hi, Sally. So if you're catching the replay, hit replay so that I know. Feel free to tag and share this with anybody. Like, seriously, I wish that I had somebody explain this low ticket versus high ticket to me many, many years ago. It would have been really, really helpful. So I love you all and have a beautiful Saturday. Mwah. Bye.